This week on Two Noobs, remember when you cut the cord for those insane cable TV fees? Well, history is about to repeat itself, apparently. Then, a Hollywood director apparently doesn't know the secret to success in Hollywood. In our People Are Pigs segment, we'll give you a new reason not to take the driverless taxi ride, and for once it has nothing to do with the robot. And we close by proving the first movie in a franchise isn't always the best one, I think. We'll see. Coming up, start the music. All right, and with that, we are here for episode 151 of Two Noobs Talk, and I'm back to my normal self. No Macho Man, no milk drinking, but I do have these two geezers with me here. On this side is geezer John Tracy, and on this side is double geezer Matt Craig. And I, in the middle, am geezer in training, Steve Murray, so I'm not going to leave myself out. Gentlemen, we'll start with John. How are things going down in Texas? You get to laugh hysterically as California prepares for a hurricane this time.
Yes.
How's that going?
Yes. Oh, I'm out in Texas, but we're closer.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm closer to you than you want me to be. It's going good. I'm enjoying the weather here in good old Tennessee. My wife is not enjoying the weather in Texas. I think she's mad at me because it's 112 there and it's not 112 here, and I can't commiserate with her because the weather's actually pretty nice here, so I have no complaints.
Hanging out by the hotel pool. Yeah. Oh, it's so hot here. Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna.
It's so humid here, honey. I don't know. It's really bad.
I try to do my best to support, but it's not helping.
Well, Matt, the weather is not hot up here in the state of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. How are you doing, sir?
All is well, gentlemen. It's great to be with you both, obviously. And it's pretty quiet, although I was very successful in going to my monthly Omaha steak run, where I was asked point blank, so who's all the food for? And I said, selfishly, me. And she was like, that's
damn
awesome.
Right.
Good for you. Yeah. So it's always nice to stack up and fill the freezer, and it was great. So it was a good visit.
What you didn't hear as you left was she turned to a coworker and said, "Porky."
Yeah, exactly. Poor self. Well, maybe I'll see you next month, she said on the way out the door. Well, maybe.
If you don't die of a heart attack from all this meat.
I don't die of a heart attack. With the
I'm a fatty. Leave me alone.
Just pour the grease directly into my mouth.
Exactly.
All right, well, as we do here every episode, we're going to go with the Fun Fact and Over 40 rant, brought to you, of course, by W Energy Drinks. Visit w.gg, it's DUBBY.GG. Pick your favorite energy drink. No, grease is not on the menu there. But enter promo code 2Noobs Talking and get 10% off of your your energy drink. True. All right, John, you got a fun fact while Matt formulates the Over 40, so throw it at us.
So I learned something since I'm in a hotel. I learned something and then did a lot of research and found more stuff out. So we're going to talk about Michael Phelps today and how many gold medals he won. So he won 23 gold medals. So I was trying to formulate this fact, and I was like, wow, well, there's some like Peru's only won one. That's not very interesting. So what I did is I went on the internet and I was like, I want to find like mediocre middle of the pack. How does he stack up to the middle of the pack of the countries that participate in the Summer Olympics?
So we're talking about how many medals Michael Phelps has won versus entire countries.
Yes.
Okay.
So here's the middle.
Not slacking behind. Yeah.
Yes. Here's the middle of the pack, how close he is to being in the middle of the pack of the country. He's 123. Ukraine, who has been involved since 1996 to now, has 138.
Wow. Okay.
Well, and is that summer and winter?
Ukraine, that's the Summer Olympics only for Ukraine.
Oh, summer only. Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's actually more than I would have thought for them.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he does not, but Michael Phelps does not do Winter Olympics. If he did, he'd probably have
Obviously.
112.
They don't have winter swimming, I know.
Can you imagine if they did? Holy cow.
He probably would be good at something else.
Yeah.
He participated in what, 4 Olympic Games?
I believe so,
right?
yes.
I
Yes.
think that's right. Yeah.
Okay, because somebody else just tied him
Mm-hmm.
with 23, I believe.
Hmm.
I don't remember the person's name.
It did not come up in my research.
Okay, so
My
the
research was literally how many gold medals did Michael Phelps win, and then I was done with that.
all right, so 38 for Ukraine though. That's 96. You said was the first one.
Mhm.
And it
First
would have
year
been
that they
first
were
year.
in.
So I think
Yeah.
then 2000, 2004, 08, 12, 16,
16.
20. So that would be 7 Olympics so let's average that out then.
What is that like?
That would be 38 divided by 7, which is about 5.5 per.
It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Phelps was 23 over 4. Ooh, so Phelps actually has a higher. He's 5.75 average per Olympics.
Gosh.
So he's trailing, but they've played more Olympic Games than he has. So interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
Now I have to ask you, because you started this off by you're at the hotel. How in the hell does that
Yes.
just correlate to Michael Phelps?
Being bored and not have anything to do. So instead of just taking the fact that I learned, I took the fact that I learned, stuck it over here, and then deep dived in let's find out some other things. What do you do when you're bored?
There you go.
Fair enough.
At least I do.
Fair
There
enough.
you go. That's funny.
All right. Well, Matt, who has got a grand total of 0 Olympic medals, we want to hear about your over 40 rant. You got something going on this week. What do you got?
Oh boy, yeah. You kind of brace yourselves on this one, guys. From the high of Michael Phelps to the low that is Joe Biden of the presidency of the United States, offering those that are affected by the Maui fires $700 per household.
Yeah, that'll rebuild. Yeah,
that'll
And
rebuild.
that'll help.
That'll rebuild. Considering that he loves to spend money in Eastern European country right now, handling $700 per American household, it really sits well. Really, really sits well. For the guy who's the smartest man in the room, if you only ask him. So yeah, I'm a little pissed off, to be perfectly honest, guys, about it. I think it's ridiculous. That our current president and vice president won't even visit the state because they feel it's a distraction for them to go over. Yeah.
Which I feel they're right about that. It is a distraction.
Well,
I guess so, but they wouldn't
He's
even
gonna
notice
fall
he was even
down.
there. Yeah.
He's gonna
He
fall
probably will
down.
fall
She's gonna say something stupid. It is gonna be a distraction. I understand what they mean by that, but for God's sakes, put out a press release that doesn't have the word in it.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
it's a 10-hour flight. We can't expect him to function correctly after that long on an airplane, even if it is Air Force One, where you can move around.
It's just disappointing. It's just sad, and it's like, I mean, I think for what I understand, the fires are pretty much over at this point. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not
From
sure.
what I've seen, but I you don't really know because it's the media
you
report
don't
and
really
everything.
Yeah. So
I
mean,
hope
I
it's
think
all over.
When you have the fact that AEW, All Elite Wrestling, was like promoting the Maui Food Bank immensely on one of their episodes and did actually more goodwill than the president of the United States did, that says a lot. That says an awful lot about the good of AEW and the bad of our federal government. So, that's my over 40 rant.
Hey, should
W
we,
energy drinks.
should we visit Hawaii? How many electoral votes is it? 2. Oh, it's only got 2 electrical votes, so we're not going to go.
What is that? The 51st state over there? I don't know. Yeah.
It doesn't even have the standard electrical volts. It has that 220 electrical volts. We don't need them.
Hawaii's 220, really?
I think so.
That would be interesting to me. So you need an adapter to go to Hawaii?
Yeah.
Wow.
240.
You need.
Or
I think
240,
you
yeah,
need.
240.
I think you need an adapter to listen to Joe Biden.
Well, we all know that, but
Yeah.
not that I'm planning to go to Hawaii anytime soon. But now I know if I go, apparently I need to pack an adapter for my
You never
charger.
know. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, moving on to topic 1 then. Speaking of cheap, SoFi article: the end of cheap TV streaming is here.
No. No.
Once a refuge for cord cutters seeking to escape the high cost of cable television, streaming platforms are introducing price hikes eerily reminiscent of expensive cable packages. Leading this charge are Hollywood's major studios, as the likes of Disney, Warner Brothers Discovery, tighten their grip on consumer wallets. In less than a year, Disney announced its second price increase for Disney Plus, which will now set viewers back to $13.99 per month. Likewise, Hulu increased its ad-free subscription from $14.99 to $17.99. These adjustments account for more than just inflation. They're a strategic pivot by media giants to squeeze more revenue from their streaming operations, particularly as ad-supported plans prove their worth. This fall, bundling the top U.S. streaming services, Netflix, Disney, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Max, and Peacock, will cost about $87 per month. $14 more than last year. That's a 19% increase. Matt, I know you recently went through this pain. You shared it on the podcast with Apple, which I guess was not one of the major ones listed there. But does this anger you?
Boy, now I got to come down off of the anger that I had and now ramp it right back up again. What is going on? I actually, so I subscribe to YouTube television, as you guys know, and thankful I do, and share that subscription price with a buddy of mine. A family share plan, which works out. But that being said, price increases at this time of year in the economy that we're in right now isn't going over too well, and is receiving the proper backlash that it is, guys. To be perfectly honest, it certainly isn't what cable is. Cable, I think, is just absolutely outrageous. And the fact, I think, what was it when I had it with Verizon, or no, when I was with Comcast, it was a disaster zone when I had HD. Back in the day, Verizon was able to knock off the price significantly when I switched over. But now it's like, even with these streaming services, you're paying now on the average $15 to $17 per month. That's a lot compared to where it once was, $12-13. It's modest, but any price increase is going to be met with a lot of questions. Why is the situation? Why are you raising the price? What's the justification for it when I have so many X number of channels? That kind of a deal. I think there's a little bit, that caused me to kind of stop and think, like, okay, is this a need or a want for me? That kind of a deal. And for me, it would be a need, but not necessarily a want. So it would be something where I would have to cut the cord, things along those lines.
Well, certainly $87 per month for the package that we just read off. That seems to me to be rather equal or kind of level wise to cable. So at that point, it's almost like, what's the point?
Yeah.
The article goes on, behind the scenes, a combination of rising interest rates, labor strikes, and increased competition is prompting major studios to re-strategize. As the era of cheap debt that once fueled streaming content draws to a close and pressure from investors mounts, companies are adapting by increasing subscription fees, cracking down on password sharing, which we talked about last week, and introducing more ads. Despite the billions of dollars poured into creating revolutionary streaming platforms, the industry seems to have come full circle, returning to a cable-like model consumers and companies were eager to escape. Consumers' wallets are once again feeling the pain. We initially flocked to streaming services to avoid the high cost and inflexibility of cable TV, only to find ourselves facing similar financial strains in the streaming world. This, I think, is a little bit over optimistic. The silver lining may be the content created. With this increase in competition and costs, studios are likely to invest more in standout exclusive content to justify these higher price points.
Bullshit.
Bless you, John.
Excuse me.
Sean, it seems to me that the whole concept of cheaper streaming was destined to fail from the beginning, and they're only figuring that out now because actors aren't getting paid what they should under streaming models, and that's coming back to bite them in the butt. I mean, what's your take here?
What a shock. They created a system to run away from the actors and gave it to the people, and the people bought it hook, line, and sinker, and now the actors want their money. So now the studios want their money. It was never gonna work. It was never. The password sharing was the whole reason Netflix lasted this long. There is no Barack Obama documentary that will keep people hooked in long enough that will save Netflix from the ridiculousness that they've become. They don't have any good shows. They don't have anything.
I don't know, John, about that Joe Biden documentary that's upcoming. I can't wait for that one.
Is it about the foothills of the Himalayas?
Himalayas.
Something like that. I think that's how you say that word. No, it's a failure. Me and my wife have already started the conversation of getting rid of half of this garbage that we pay for, that we don't need, that we don't watch, that we don't care about. We're like everybody else. We have the Netflix, we have the Hulu, we have the Peacock, we have the whatever it is. I don't even know on my phone. I was just looking at that to see if I had. We have Disney Plus only for Star Wars, but I don't watch Star Wars, so why do we have Disney Plus? And those conversations are happening now.
So it sounds like you're going to be paying $87 a month.
Yeah, exactly. So possibly after that conversation, we'll probably be paying $12 again, and we won't have cable and we won't have these streaming services because they're not. They need to offer more, but they don't have the ability to offer more, and that's where they're going to fail. Same thing with cable. They need to offer more, but they can't because Major League Baseball won't let them, or National Football League won't let them, or ESPN has proprietary for this, so you get 87 ESPN channels, but they don't put any sports on it. So why do you want cable? It's
right.
They're running into the same issues that cable did, but they don't have a leg to stand on because they aren't localized to where you are. So they can't give you local news. They can't give you puff pieces. Netflix is just going to give you the bullshit that Netflix has. And you want to pay $17 for their bullshit? Pay $17 for their bullshit.
Yeah.
One thing that always bothered me about like Netflix in particular was, you could go to your local video store and you could find almost anything. Whereas Netflix, for some reason, they don't have. My wife had Netflix for a little while and she's like, oh, let's watch something on Netflix. And I went through and I'm like, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
They didn't have any of the new movies I wanted to watch. There were old movies. I'm like, oh, I could watch that again. They didn't have those. And they were constantly taking things off and putting things on.
And their documentaries were absolute garbage. They were. I mean, I remember having like a Netflix subscription for a month, trying for a free trial. And they had one on Aaron Hernandez. And it was like, that tight end from the New England Patriots. And it was like, it was the most
nobody should care. Who nobody should care about because he's a murderer.
Yeah. But it was the most bizarre, weird, strange documentary. And I was like, okay, well, that's weird. And I'm not going to go down this road.
Didn't have that weird Tiger King thing on it that everybody was all.
Yeah, that's Joe, whatever his name was.
Yeah, but that's also that's what you put on Netflix because it was probably designed for the pandemic. Because I don't know how many people actually do watch Netflix. That's what I want to know. I want to poll on that.
Yeah, I would love to know how many subscribers there are, to be honest with you. Maybe I can look that up here real quick.
While he's looking that up, I mean, to me, this just comes right back to the labor issue. They were able to get away with lower prices than cable because they didn't have to pay the actors that much. And now the actors are on strike, and it's kind of hitting them. Hey, we got to pay people to create anything close to decent content. You know, and I saw something a couple months ago. Matt Damon had actually been interviewed, and his position was like, well, look, you release a movie in the studio, you get a lot of money, then you release it on DVD, and that's like a second re-release in the theater.
Yeah,
you got another bunch of money that comes in. You get some money. Now with the streaming services, half the time you're not even releasing it in the theater.
Yeah.
And then there's no DVD release because it's just on the streaming site. So you weren't going to be able to get away with that for long. So ultimately, I was never one who cut the cable cord. So now I'm going to laugh at all you suckers who did cut it, and you're going to pay the same amount now that you got the streaming service back.
Exactly. Netflix has around 238 million paid subscribers worldwide as of the second quarter of 2023. This marked an increase of 5.89 million subscribers compared with the previous quarter. Most Netflix subscribers are based in the EMEA region, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, accounting for almost 80 million of Netflix total global subscriber base. So it's doing well in Europe and in the Middle East and Africa, but not so much in the United States.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
I wonder what the cable system is like there. That deeper dive into that would be, do they have cable?
Great question.
Yeah. I don't know. Is cable just a United States BS
might be.
we fell for?
Yeah.
Might be. Just to close it out, I saw another article that said Netflix is ending its DVD service, which is odd because I thought it had ended a long time ago.
I thought it ended 10 years ago.
Right. But so they're offering their subscribers, they could get like 10 free DVDs to celebrate their closing and to watch, but they have to then return them within a month by October 20 something.
Interesting.
What are you going to do with all this?
Do I get the cool envelope?
At least, maybe.
Just
Look, at least when Blockbuster went out of business, I could go to the store and I could buy some of their inventory.
Yeah.
Yes,
I got a bunch of movies there on DVD because they were just getting rid of them. So, you know, I benefited from that. Apparently, Netflix is not going to be as altruistic. But, you know, we come to expect that from their ilk.
Yes. Status quo for those guys.
And as we roll into topic 2 here, gentlemen, I've got a beef with both of you. I feel like you guys in the editing process have been using images of me that make it look like I have no chin. It's very upsetting to me, and I don't like it.
I'm gonna have to consult my Premiere Pro editing console book if I can find it, and see if I can get that corrected for you, Mr. Murray.
Okay, good, because I don't want people out there thinking I don't have a chin when I'm running for president.
You totally do.
Let's get that in profile right here.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yep.
Screenshots will be on our website at TooNoobs.wordpress.com. in case you want to book the handsome man in the middle.
There you go.
I'm just telling you, if it continues, I'm not going to participate in any debates.
Well,
and as your political advisor, as long as you can say the
alrighty then. Variety article here for topic 2. Hollywood is taking the wrong lessons from Barbie, says Randall Park. Who? Make more movies by and about women, not films based on toys. Okay.
Interesting.
In a recent interview with Rolling Stone,
excuse me.
Bullshit comes after I read it, John.
I didn't say bullshit. I was just clearing my
John was
throat
just
of
clearing
irony.
his throat.
It's in there.
In a recent interview with Rolling Stone to promote his directorial effort Shortcomings, actor and comedian Randall Park, who criticized Hollywood for taking the wrong lessons from a massive blockbuster like Greta Gerwig's Barbie. The Margot Robbie-led comedy has earned over $1 billion at the worldwide box office, but Park said making more movies about toys should not be the industry's takeaway. I feel like, just in general, this industry is taking the wrong lessons, Park said. For example, Barbie is this massive blockbuster, and the idea is make more movies about toys. No, make more movies by and about women. As Variety reported shortly after Barbie stunned the industry with a record-breaking $163 million opening, Mattel Films is hoping to use the film's success to jumpstart its movie ambitions. The studio has 14 movies in development based on Mattel toys and other properties, including Hot Wheels, Polly Pocket, American Girl, Rock'em Sock'em Robots, Magic 8 Ball, Uno, and Matchbox.
Oh my gosh.
There's also, of course, the Barbie sequel, which feels almost inevitable at this point, given the first film's success.
Yeah, it'll be out tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, pretty much.
On Disney Plus.
Barbie 2's out tomorrow.
John, how do you understand Mr. Park's argument here? I guess I would say, if you do at all.
I don't understand any of it. The Uno thing, I just want to say, I don't know how they're going to make a movie of it, but it'll probably be successful because Xavier Woods from Up, Up, Down, Down played Uno on YouTube, and it was like one of the hottest videos on YouTube. Every week it came out, everybody was watching that. So if I don't know if you could do it like that comedian that does the lips on the cards, I would find that funny. But I don't know how they're going to do that.
Let's put let's put that whole thing up on the upper right corner for the up down down one for
it's
our friend there. Xavier.
Play Uno with the Wilds only deck. That's
there you go.
Yeah, there you
go.
Yeah, so John, it sounds to me like this guy is just trying to get into the good graces of the diversity group here by saying, "Hey, make more movies by and about women," instead of realizing the reality of what makes money in Hollywood. I mean, do you agree?
This idiot, this idiot. I'm still flabbergasted that Mattel has a film company. Like, when the hell did that happen? There's a couple things that I'm confused about. This guy's literally a douche. He's a millennial douche that is just like. First of all, if you really want to get into this, Barbie's not a woman. She's a toy. She's a toy representative of a woman. She is not a woman. Like, she does not exist as an actual woman. Does not actually exist on the planet. Just so this guy knows
some
that.
have tried. Though some have tried.
Yes.
They've had the surgery to try.
Yeah, some have tried.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's okay, so if you take his BS down to the take the stupidness out of it and just go, yes, there should be more films about women. You don't need to say, hey, here's Barbie, very successful. We should make more films about women. No, there should be more films about women. That's not real. You don't need an IQ for that one. Like, there are male-dominated films. There should be female-dominated films. It's so obvious. Makes this dude look even worse because he's trying to make a toy into a person. It doesn't make any sense. But still, when the fuck did Mattel get a film company? It makes no sense to me.
I'd like to know how they're going to put together a Hot Wheels and Matchbox thing. That sounds like
that's probably going to be a cool movie.
If Disney can milk 3 films out of anthropomorphic cars, I think you can get some Hot Wheels and Matchbox films
together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So, agreed with John. Yes, there absolutely should be more films directed by women and about women. Sure.
Yes.
But this is not, the takeaway from Barbie is not that. the takeaway from Barbie is the same thing that it's always been, status quo in Hollywood. I have here in front of me a list of the films that made over $1 billion at the worldwide box office post-COVID. Okay.
Mhm.
Barbie is one of them, obviously, the most recent.
Mhm.
The next one after that, Super Mario Brothers.
Okay.
Mhm.
What's
Yep.
the subject matter there? Video game. A very
Games.
popular video game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next one, Avatar, The Way of Water. Sequel to a highly successful original directed by James Cameron, who, oh, by the way, did Terminator, Aliens, Titanic.
Mhm.
You know, has the list to his name.
Mhm.
After that, Jurassic World Dominion. Sequel upon sequel of dinosaurs from the original Jurassic Park. But again, dinosaurs.
Mhm.
After that, Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Sequel starring, Tom Cruise, one of the most recognizable actors in history of
Mhm.
Hollywood.
Mhm.
And before that, Spider-Man, No Way Home. Spider-Man, Marvel. What do all of these have in common, Matt?
Well, I mean, all of them, I think, to me, have individual like they're basically original IPs in some form or fashion. Like they're actual stories based off of original intellectual properties. So there's that. But I think, to your point, they're all very marketable characters. Every single one of them had a marketable thing that families could go to, young kids could go see those movies, and they talk about them with their friends, and word of mouth, hey, you want to go see this movie? Yeah, let's go do it. And boom, off they go. So I think there's that aspect to it. I could be wrong, though. I'm sure Mr. Murray will share with us his thoughts. But yeah, recognizable. Yeah, recognizable brands, popular, let's go see them, perfect summer blockbuster type movies.
Yeah, no, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, look no further than your favorite Transformers.
Yes.
Stumbled into hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. Why? Not because it was a good movie, but
because Jazz died and ruined my entire childhood. No,
but the point is, it made hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office because it was Transformers.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not. Hey, this is a film directed by a woman about a woman. Let's go see it and give it $1 billion. No, it made $1 billion because it's Barbie, and I'm sure Margot Robbie, who is an established star, didn't hurt.
Oh no,
this wasn't Barbie. Yeah. This wasn't Barbie starring some no name. This was a recognizable name. Now, Greta Gerwig, as far as I'm concerned, was not prior to this a household directorial name. But then neither was Christopher Nolan before Batman Begins.
Sure.
So apparently Greta Gerwig did a good job with this Barbie film. Maybe now her name becomes something that can be, hey, it's a Greta Gerwig film. That'll make some money.
Yeah, you never know.
Christopher Nolan was doing directing films before Batman Begins, and who knew who he was before that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes either recognizable franchise or it takes established power. Everybody goes and sees Christopher Nolan films now because they know who he is. They know he does a good job.
Yeah.
People see James Cameron films because they know who he is. They know he does a good job.
Exactly. It's going to be good. And same thing with actors. Like good actors draw you to films. How do you think John Wick got popular?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say one other thing too. What launched Nolan into the stratosphere of all of this, guys, was really I guess you could say, the reverence that he had for the Batman character. And he knew going into that entire trilogy that was basically the Batman character was really on the downside, thanks to Joel Schumacher, basically making it campy and funny and all that kind of stuff back to the 60s. When really what was going on in the comic book world was Batman was gritty, dark, disturbing, things along those lines. So he was able to turn that around, use that IP of that character base, and then put it into a real world environment, which made it even more fantastic in that regard.
Yeah, I think the real lesson from Barbie is take a film, if you want to make money and grow people in this business, take a popular franchise, toy, video game, movie, TV show, whatever. Do a good job with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And from that, things will grow. You know, don't take Super Mario Brothers and totally F it up like they did in 93.
Yeah.
And just to totally, to your point, Matt, you know, Bowser is a dinosaur.
Yeah.
He's not Dennis Hopper with weird human colored hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Be reverent to the subject matter and do a good job.
Yeah.
And then you will grow. I'm sure Greta Gerwig now will have opportunities galore because she got a chance with Barbie, did a good job with it. That leads to more opportunity. That is, I think, the lesson that should be taken from this movie. Not just simply more women directing.
Yeah.
Yes, we do need more women directing, but that if the ultimate goal, which Hollywood's goal is to make money, they're always going to look at Rock'em Sock'em Robots, Magic 8 Balls.
And just don't get behind them. That's all I have to say.
Can we finish on the question of when the hell did Mattel Films come about? I'm still confused.
As baffled as you are by Uno, Magic 8 Ball is really the one. I have no idea how they're going to pull that one off. Because
the only thing I would want that is I don't want to be behind that ball. That's the only thing I got to say about that.
Yeah, agreed. All right, and now topic 3 here. We're going to call this the George Takei segment.
Oh my.
We're probably going to hear that about a half a dozen times in the next 10 to 15 minutes.
I would hope not, but anyway, go on.
Fox News article. Sex in San Francisco robo-taxis is running rampant, report finds.
Oh my.
No boundaries.
Fox News would write an article about this.
Oh, they totally would. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
and this time it's the main article and not just the clickbait at the bottom. Customers proving, continuing on how depraved California is, customers are taking advantage of driverless vehicles. And that's a double entendre in and of itself. According to a report that says sex in San Francisco robo-taxis is on the rise. The San Francisco Standard said they spoke to 4 separate riders in recent months who admitted to having sex or hooking up, in the parlance of our times, in the back seat of the autonomous vehicles, which have become increasingly popular in San Francisco.
I gotta stop you real quick. Really. So Fox News found 4 people. Because it sounds like they only interviewed 4 people.
No. The Standard found 4 people.
Oh, there you go.
The Standard. They're probably just as bad as Fox News. So the Standard, 4 people. And all 4 people said...
Admitted to this?
Yeah. Okay, that's crazy. There wasn't even one person that was like, oh, hell no. Like, 4 people that were like, yep, totally.
Oh.
You're nasty.
Step 1 is admitting you have a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. Step 1 is admitting
you
have
nasty.
a problem.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, see, here, we don't know how many people the Standard asked this question. There could have been 196 of them said hell no, and 4 of them admitted to this. But one man who asked to remain anonymous said, I mean, there's no one to tell you you can't do that.
I guess not.
My point exactly.
The Standard noted that rumblings of covert robocar hookups might have some basis in science, citing a little-known 2018 study that predicted more AVs would mean more sex on the road and potentially other unseemly behaviors you likely wouldn't want your Uber or taxi driver to bear witness to.
Question. Yes. Was this science studies sponsored by George Takei? Oh, my.
Well, according to two of the more popular automated car companies there, Waymo and Cruise, neither company has said that sex in their AVs is directly forbidden, but it's certainly not encouraged. Cruise pleads with riders to not do anything in an AV that would potentially make others uncomfortable and to avoid activity that would be classified as threatening, confrontational, discriminatory, harassing, disrespectful, offensive, or inappropriate towards others, according to its terms of service.
Wow.
Whatever happens on the inside of a robotaxi is generally visible on the outside to bystanders and other motorists. The standard notes of the AV's fishbowl-like designs. These aren't one-way mirrors,
No,
folks.
I have seen these cars. It's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. John, I guess we'll go with you first because Matt is just flabbergasted by this whole thing. I don't even know
Quick statement from the office of me. Y'all nasty. All of you.
Agreed. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
I am absolutely not shocked at the least. I told you guys this in pre-production. I am not. There's just shit you see at a football game, a baseball game. Like the fact that they're alone makes me think that it's even nastier. Like it's humans.
It definitely will make me
individually
think twice
have standards, but they don't. When the door is closed.
Yeah.
You know, I will never ride in one of these without. I can't either. Me, but my Lysol, I put it away. I think it might be behind.
I'm going to spray myself down.
That makes me think twice about getting into a car like that. Honest to God, gentlemen. I mean, that's just the most unbelievable part about all of this.
Didn't they have that taxi cab show? Didn't they have that weird taxi cab show on HBO for years?
Oh, yeah.
They did, but I thought that show was just people confessing to stuff, not actually doing it in a taxi.
Well, I'm pretty sure that there were some episodes where they did it in a taxi because it's probably the only reason I remembered the show.
It's probably wasn't it on Cinemax instead. I don't know.
I thought it was HBO, which is probably why it was on HBO.
Yeah,
you're right.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's an amazing story, funny, but also it's like, man alive, I am so glad I'm not getting into one of those vehicles anytime soon, gentlemen. That's just, I can't imagine you open the door and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm not going to go in there. You know, you got to clean all this out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that they bring the vehicle in for cleaning after one ride.
That was my second question to this whole thing. What is the cleaning schedule of these vehicles since there aren't people in there to handle the cleaning? Like, do they immediately drop you off and immediately drive to the car wash and then someone has to clean out the inside? Or does it have like a maximum of 20 rides and then it goes to the car wash? Or does it ever go to the car wash? So not only, I'm not worried about the sex so much, I'm worried about how nasty this company is and how do they control these electric vehicles?
Yeah. No, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what those companies right now are going through, because now it's out in the open. No pun intended. It's all, seriously. And it's, it's all part out in the open now. But now it's like, what do you do in that situation? Like, seriously, you have to come up with like some sort of plan now. If this has been rampant and now going on, it's got to be addressed.
Every ride you set off a bug bomb inside the back of the car. But
all publicity is good publicity. So at least let them let them revel in the fact that everybody actually knows they exist now, when nobody had any idea that robo-taxi
Any
was
idea.
a thing, other than the 4
Great
people that had sex in it. Like,
It's a great point.
and that
That is a
weird
great point.
San Francisco Standard, who I've never even heard of you.
Yeah.
All I can picture is just George Costanza going to pick up his car from the Jiffy Park and finding things in the car. I mean, the robo-taxi's gonna pull up, and you're gonna find, and not just the sex. You're not just gonna find prophylactics. You're gonna find drugs.
Yeah.
Because what's to stop you from doing that in the back of these cars?
Yeah.
Right?
Everything.
Yeah, seriously.
Everything.
Yeah. Just as long as you don't show up in an amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Seriously, when you go to pick up your car,
Right.
you'll be fine.
Right. It's people are gross. But and here's what makes it even worse.
Oh no.
Cruise and Waymo both claim to have expansive security camera capabilities inside and outside the cars. We record video inside of the car for added safety and support, Cruise states on its website. If something happened during your ride, support.
Yes. Yes.
It's immediately uploaded to Pornhub. If something happened,
it wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me. A direct line to that scumbag corporation?
Yeah.
Totally.
If something happened during your ride, we might review the recording to better understand what happened. We only record audio during active support calls. A Waymo spokesperson told The Standard that its team might review recordings if there are concerns about cleanliness. There should be after this. Safety, crashes, or missing items. Yet these surveillance tactics have been met with resistance, particularly from those concerned about how the private companies will use footage collected from previous rides.
Yeah.
But where there's a will, there's a way, The Standard said, noting the 2018 study about sex in AVs notes that even as self-driving vehicle companies scale up their surveillance tactics, the truly savvy will find a way around it, especially in privately owned cars.
Yep.
While AVs will likely be monitored to deter passengers having sex or using drugs in them and to prevent violence, such surveillance may be rapidly overcome, disabled, or removed. I mean, you put a piece of tape over the camera on your laptop, for God's sake.
Yeah, absolutely.
Private autonomous vehicles may also be put to commercial use, as it is just a small leap to imagine Amsterdam's red light district on the move.
Oh my.
Gentlemen, what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah,
Somebody make it make sense.
I wish I could, Steve, but I mean, all of that is really just, if you really stop to think about it, just protecting yourself against litigation more than anything else, I guess you could say, in that regard. But I mean, it's a disaster. It really is. And it's like, yeah, no, like you could get good publicity, bad publicity, but really this is, you know, if you're getting away with it, you know what I mean? You could get away with it. And I think that's where we're at with this right now with these vehicles. And it's like, boy, oh boy, you just got to make sure if as a company, you're looking out for everybody. Because I mean, it's not just the fact that you just have that happen, you know, the sex act in a car, but it's the next passenger.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's that next passenger. And then you have
Absolutely.
the negative word of mouth. There are people out there that will be offended by this. No question.
Oh,
And they're
absolutely. Absolutely.
really just go to town against these companies like this if they don't get a handle on it.
Offended or not, I mean, I don't want to be in a seat where somebody was just doing it.
Yes, exactly.
It's disgusting.
Yes.
This is right back to that damn woman in the lazy river.
It is.
Exactly right.
It is.
Oh my God.
John, last word. Any concerns about surveillance, or do we need more surveillance because of these depraved people?
What they'll do is they'll put up a sign, and people will still do what they do, the 4 out of the 100 or whatever. And I don't think
It could have been 4.
Yeah, it could have been only 4. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, I guess. So this is the first major city that this is taking place, and we already have this kind of conversation. I'd hate to see if it went to Austin. You get a crackhead riding free, running away from the police that aren't arresting him. It's
Or
going to
New
be
York.
be very interesting to see if these guys could get to another city. I know San Francisco is pretty shitty. Yikes. That's all I really
that
have to say.
surprised me.
Yeah,
That didn't surprise me. It was
surprise
this
me in
city
San
in particular.
Francisco.
Yeah.
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 Yikes.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, gentlemen. Hopefully, it doesn't come to our town. Okay, since we've been talking about Hollywood, well, I don't know if that last one qualifies.
It's
Could
Hollywood-esque.
qualify for a Lifetime movie. You never know.
Yes.
So I mean,
Britney
I'm
Spears
sure.
acts a fool. Done. There we go.
Yeah, something tells me she would probably take advantage of nobody driving the taxi.
Totally. Totally. Or if someone was driving the taxi.
Right.
Either or.
Yeah. So going from batshit crazy to topic 4, where we're just gonna have a little fun here because we haven't had enough of that throughout the rest of the show.
there you go.
The whole movie franchise thing kind of got our juices flowing, our brain juices, not other juices.
That was
our brain
that was-
juices
that-
flowing.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, we have people's minds are in the gutter, obviously, after topic 3. So we're thinking, there's a lot of movie franchises out there, and we ought to see, because the trope is, well, the first movie is always the best, and it's always downhill after that. But I also thought, is it really though? And so what we're going to do is we've got, it looks like about 8 different movie franchises here that have at least 3 movies to their name.
Okay.
And we're going to decide, each of us is going to say which one was our favorite, which movie was our favorite of that particular franchise.
Interesting.
To see, is it really the first one or was it a different one? And why was that your favorite? We are not doing Batman because we already did an Oscar show with Batman.
Oh.
We're not doing Star Wars because we already did an Oscar show with Star Wars.
Oh.
And we're not doing Marvel because screw them.
Oh.
I know John agrees with me anyway.
So Matt will be sitting out of this this segment because all the things he watches are not on here.
I know. Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to start with the Jason Bourne movie franchise, which has
there you go.
4 movies to its name. The Bourne Identity, Supremacy, Ultimatum, and then what was the 4th one called?
Jason Bourne. It was called Jason Bourne.
So we ran out of creativity by that point. Okay.
Much, yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Thank God
There
it wasn't
was
sex in
Bourne-
a San
there was
Francisco
another
taxi.
one that was in there too, but it was there was another one that was in there, but it wasn't.
Oh,
Matt
it
Damon.
wasn't-
So we're only counting the ones that have Matt.
It wasn't even Jason Bourne. I think it was just
That wasn't
it
one of
was
those.
it was like the program, but it wasn't him.
Yeah,
So that doesn't
wasn't him.
count. You're right.
Yeah,
that does not
Mhm.
count.
Yeah.
Matt, I think this is your doing, so I'll go to you first. Which one was your favorite of the Bourne
My doing.
quadrilogy?
Yeah, this one was interesting because I've seen all the movies. Every one of them is great individually. I would say the first one, Bourne Identity, was the best of the 4. And the only reason I say that is because you don't have an idea. Like, you're basically as if you're Jason Bourne, who wakes up on this tanker out in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, and he has no idea why he's there. He has no clue. And he pieces all throughout the entire movie to try and find out exactly who he is. Along the way, he figures out, oh, I've got access to this. I've got access to this safe over here in Switzerland. I can kick anyone's ass that I want. It's like, well, what's going on? I don't quite understand what's happening. I thought, like, from start to finish, it was a terrific movie. The other 2 were decent, but never captured the first. So I would vote that Bourne Identity was the best of that entire quadrilogy.
I saw that on an Alien DVD box once, so
Oh, there
I
you go.
figured it was a real word.
Nice.
John, do you agree or do you have a different opinion?
I'm going to agree, but it's a completely different opinion.
Oh,
The first one was good because the other ones that I watched seemed like I was just watching the first one, like it was a big run-on sentence. So might as well just start at the beginning, because I know that one exists. I'm not really sure if I've seen 2, 3, 7, 8, 12, 14, 15. I don't know if I've seen them because they seem every time I watch them, they seem like the first movie. So I'm just gonna go with the first movie.
interesting. Interesting. I disagree. I think,
Naturally.
of course, because I'm just that way. The third one, the Bourne Ultimatum, is actually my favorite of the
Excellent.
three. The first one was good, but it bothers me that the car chases are all in tiny ass little European
Yeah.
hunch in cars.
Yeah. And they seem to go for days, and you know that's
yeah.
not the case, right?
Yeah,
Ideally.
exactly. At least in the Ultimatum, we were driving around in like normal people cars.
Yeah.
For the car chase scenes.
Yeah.
Did they put blocks on Matt Damon's feet?
Matt Damon.
And I thought Joan Allen was a great character, following David Strathairn around, like being like, "What are you doing, dude? You're an idiot."
Yeah.
So that and the fourth one, I was telling you guys, like Tommy Lee Jones looks really old in it, and the what's her name, Alicia Vikander, has like permanent resting pouty face, like. So it just bothered me. So 3 was my favorite of the Bourne movies.
There you go. Excellent.
So we'll go with that.
There you go.
Next, I'm actually going to save these two for last. So we're going to move on to the Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
And we will include, because of the continuity, we will include the 3 Hobbit movies as well, because they're all related, all Peter Jackson, all the time.
Yes.
John, I'll start with you. I know you were into these way back when. I don't know about the Hobbit, but at least the Lord of the Rings ones you were.
I've seen all 6 movies. I'm a big fan.
So you are well versed.
Yes, I'm gonna have to go with 2 of the Lord of the Rings. I have to go with the second.
Oh, the
Lord
Two
of the Rings.
Towers.
I forget
Two
what
Towers. Okay.
Yeah,
Two
I
Towers,
forget
yeah.
what it was called because anytime I think of the first one or the third one, I think of Clerks 2 when he did the whole spiel in the thing about the movie's all about walking, and he walks and he trips over a rock and then he drops. It's one of the funniest scenes in the Clerks movie.
Nice.
So I can't go with 3. I can't go with 1. I thought 2 was a good wrap up of what they actually were doing. We knew what was going to happen at the end, because the end is just that's pretty much what the end was. 2 kind of had everything that I wanted, and I was happy. I didn't even need to see the third one.
Oh, wow.
But third one, it finished it. It was fine.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, I'll go to you next.
Yeah, disagree. I would say Return of the King, great movie. I didn't quite, if there was one knock against it, way too many endings.
Yes.
Way too many endings.
Yes.
It should have ended at least a half hour early. I mean, Peter, I understand you want to, pay homage to Tolkien and all, the original story. But I mean, come on, man. Seriously, just end the freaking movie. Everybody knows what happened. But I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, I thought that thing was like never going to end. It was like never ending story.
That was my point. We knew how it was going to end in 2. Like it wasn't even.
Yeah, exactly.
3
just because of the Rohan charge, that's just unbelievable. I mean, that's just
some great scenes. Absolutely,
unbelievable scenes.
Yeah,
terrific.
Yeah,
and I would throw in as a small asterisk, the Desolation of Smaug. Just when Smaug first appears in the movie,
that is a great scene.
That's the greatest.
Totally
great. And the spiders in that movie also. The spider scene was funny.
Yeah.
It's funny to hear a spider say "fat and juicy." I think John's actually swayed me. I think I agree. Two Towers.
Really?
And Matt, you actually swayed me by reminding me how flippin' long
the
King really was.
Yes. Yeah.
it did kind of drag. You know, it's one of those things where like, oh, it's over. You start to get up from your seat. It's like, oh shit.
It's not even close. Yeah, it's like another half an hour. It's like, come on.
Did either of you read the book?
I'm in the process.
Yes.
I'm in the process of reading The Fellowship.
I
I've
would-
not read The Two Towers or Return of the King yet.
Okay, well, I would like to thank Peter Jackson personally for cutting Tom Bombadil completely out of the movie.
Smart.
Wow.
Because I was reading that part of the book, I'm like, this is the most boring shit. We're just sitting around, and apparently on like time scale, they're at Tom Bombadil's house for like 20 years, just like sitting around shooting the shit. I'm like, nope, we're skipping this whole thing.
We're just skipping this entire part. Yeah.
But getting back on point, I agree with John. I think 2 was probably the best because we kept it compact.
Mm-hmm.
You had all the good action.
Yep.
It was really good stuff. And I
Gandalf
thought
comes down. Yep.
Gandalf
Saves the day.
comes back. Yeah, it was all good. I
Told a
think
ton
that
of
was
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Filled in some
So
things. Yep.
so I will agree with John on the second Lord of the Rings movie.
There you go.
All right. Well, we all originate from Philadelphia, so we can't do one of these without going into the Rocky franchise. And so we have Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Rocky Balboa, which was number 6. I forget.
8, 9,
did we
10,
decide
11,
whether
12,
or not-
47.
were we including the creeds in this, or were we going to keep that separate?
I think that's probably independent.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
Rocky's involved.
I'm
but it's not
all
really
about the Creed movies though. I love the Creed movies. I'll say nothing.
Yeah, the
There
Creed
you go.
movies
bad
are
about
good.
them at
Creed
all.
movies
Yeah.
are good.
I like them.
There you go.
But I think for this one, we will stick strictly with Rocky titles.
There you go.
So Matt, I'll go to you first. Favorite of the Rocky franchise?
Second. The second one.
Second one. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think that was probably the better story out of all of them, although they're pretty much all formulaic to begin with. That's
What are
also
you talking about?
No, I
There's
just
no
thought it
way.
just told
There's
us-
no way.
Although the one that's more over the top was, of course, the one with the Soviets. That one was
I
hilarious.
would disagree with you. I think 5 was the actual most over the top.
There you go.
Was
I don't
that the
even
one with
cons-
Tommy? Was that
Tommy
one with
Gunn.
Tommy Gunn? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah,
is the one.
that's funny.
Yeah, that one was probably the most. I mean, Rocky ending the Cold War is kind of weird, but 5 was really just. I mean, Sylvester Stallone made Rocky Balboa
Yeah.
because he hated 5 so much. Like that's why he did it.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going with 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
John, I go to you.
Man, that's tough. I'm Xing out whatever one Hulk Hogan was in. I can't remember.
That was 3 with Mr. T.
Yeah, because he's a
Oh, okay.
he's a piece
yeah.
of shit, and he doesn't need. Nobody needs to talk about him.
Thunderlips.
Yes. What a fucking douche.
Oh,
What
my.
a douche. What a douche in any industry. What a douche. Wow.
Oh, poor Mr. T getting roped into that.
Oh, I love Mr. T. That's no problem. He was friends with Hulk Hogan.
But you're kicking 3 out because of Hulk Hogan. So you're
Okay,
kicking Mr. T
okay,
out,
but
so.
let's just make a point real quick for our listeners.
Yep.
If someone doesn't like me and they don't like you, Steve, because they don't like me, you kind of understand, right? I'm sure Mr. T gets it, right?
Fair. All right, so 3's out.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'll have to agree with Matt and go with 2.
Okay.
2 was
okay.
2 was more of a story. 3 was more of a dog and pony show.
Yep. There you go.
Whatever the Soviet one was, what was that like? 57? I don't even remember.
4, I think.
4.
Yeah.
Love
4.
Dolph
Yeah.
though. Love Dolph. Totally. Great actor. He was so
If
good.
He dies,
No,
he dies. Yeah, he had like 5 lines in the whole movie.
It was great.
exactly. And it was Rocky just running in snow for the rest of it.
But Paulie was representing in the Soviet Union. He was wearing an Eagles jacket.
There you go.
He was.
Kelly
I
Green.
agree.
There you go.
I
He
agree.
was repping. I'll go with the OG. I'll go with number 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that
I was
the
torn
best.
between 1 and 2. I was torn between 1 and 2, but
I mean, I like 2 because he wins in that one, and he goes
I
to
think
this
that's where
first proposal. It's really cool, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's where I kind of, because one was the downturn, and then like it was like he almost, and then 2 was what kind of got me invested to watch Crappy 3 and Crappy 4. So,
I
got me,
do want to
Sylvester.
shout out. I do want to shout out though. I do love the 6th one, Rocky Balboa.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
I think that was really well done. I think it
Fun.
was, it's a guy he can't let boxing go. He's got to get one more fight, and he gets it out of his system. And I think it was a really good way to end his fighting career. It was much better than 5.
He did a really
he
good
gives,
job.
he did,
Yeah.
and he gives one of the most legendary speeches to his kid in that one. That they replay at all the sporting events
all the time. Yeah.
Yep.
So that was a great film, but I'll go with 1 as my favorite of the group.
There you go. Nice.
All right, moving on. We've got the Tom Cruise special, Mission Impossible, which I don't even know what number that's up to now. I haven't even seen the most recent one, so I can only go off of the previous 5 or 6.
Can we get?
Gosh.
Yeah, I'm not even sure.
Matt, I'll start with you.
Wow. This is a hard one for me because I do like MI2.
John Woo.
Also, I think the first one gets some hate for some reason because I think that still told a very good story.
Oh, John didn't like it. Ooh.
Yeah,
I didn't like it at all.
I can see why.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
I can see that.
Not a Brian De Palma fan?
Yeah, probably. I would probably go with 2.
Just didn't go for me.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't like all the close-ups at crooked angles like this.
And the weird part is, like, I'm a big Tom Cruise fan.
All right, well, Matt,
Like,
so
I like some
too.
I like some Tom Cruise and I like some Tom Cruise movies that people hate.
Interesting. Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow is a good one. I love that one. That's a good
So there is Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible 2, Mission Impossible 3,
which was J.J. Abrams.
Yep. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Right.
Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Mission Impossible Fallout. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and then Part 2 in 2024.
Right.
Yeah.
I have not seen the Dead Reckoning one yet.
Yeah.
So are you going to stick with 2 or you have
I'm going to stick with 2.
Stick with 2?
I'm going to stick with 2.
All right. You're a big John Woo guy. You like the pigeons.
Oh, I love the pigeons and the explosions. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Only good part of the movie.
All right. John?
Total agreement with Matt, too. It's just a John Woo film. That's all. It's just a better film.
Nice.
John Woo, Anthony Hopkins. It's hard to go wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Coronavirus? Are you kidding me? Come on. Yeah.
I think I actually dig Fallout.
Okay.
Best.
Okay.
You got what's his name? Henry Cavill playing a bad guy.
Yeah.
With a mustache.
Really? I would have never thought.
I thought it was just a really well done film. Mission Impossible is a weird kind of franchise because it was all different. Like each movie is kind of different directors with different styles. To John's point, like there's John Woo was 2, but Brian De Palma was 1. So it was very Scarface-ish.
Very.
And 3 J.J. Abrams, you had about 1 billion lens flares, and the ones after lesser known.
And the first one was mostly shot in Europe, and you could tell that was a European film. And then the second one, definitely all United States, everything United States, San Francisco.
Even though it was mostly it was supposed to be
even though it was Australia, but it had that West. My point is, it had that Western feel as opposed to the European flair.
Right. All right. So, but nobody voted for 1 on that. I love 1, but I think I like Fallout better.
Yeah.
But nobody voted for 1 on that one. All right. We're gonna go to the similar vein. Now we got John Wick. As John mentioned earlier, Keanu.
Pew pew. Pew pew.
I have not seen 4 yet, but I have seen the other 3.
I have not either.
Oh boy.
I have not either.
All right. So, well, John, you're the namesake, John Wick. So, what do you got?
Well, when his dog got killed, it's over. Every movie is from that moment. So,
Yeah.
So, number
The
1.
original.
killed his
The original.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
killed his dog and go fuck yourself. I don't know what movie was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It could be John Wick 19. I know when I watch it, I'm like, oh, he's still getting revenge for that dog. That's awesome. Like, that is amazing. They could run this franchise until I'm 90, and I would still have the same thought process. Like, man, he's really kicking ass for that dog. It's
Yeah.
fucking
All
great.
about the dog.
If anybody
Yeah.
hurts an animal, I'm going to do the same thing. Just know that. So everything's going away. I'm going to take my car and I'm going to kill everybody.
Until you
touch my
can kill
puppy.
3 people, until you can kill 3 people with that pencil, I'm doubtful you're going to have the same kind of head count.
No,
Too
not
Noobs
him.
does
but
not condone John's.
I will
recent
train
death threats.
of the John Wick, and I will kill you with a microwavable tray. Is what I will do.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Matt, what say you?
Definitely the first. Although I will say one of the best movie sequences is in that entire trilogy is in John Wick 2, where he is basically getting outfitted. I think that's the most hilarious thing. He goes to the tailor, he gets his suit all nice, he's got the protection and all, the iron, the bodysuit or whatever, and then he's, oh, Mr. Wick, here is your set of steak knives for your cutlery. Here is here's the German Glock that you want. Here's the AR-15, and he's
the fact that they did that all kind of in the description they had it in was as if it was like dinner and dessert.
Yes, yeah, it was like he did it every other day.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you like this stabbing knife? Here it is. Oh, thanks. I misplaced that the other night.
I never thought steak knives were this way. Yeah.
I know you prefer the Germans, but the Austrians have really come up with a nice line.
Love it. But yeah, the first one by far, to John's point, it's like it all goes back to his dog. Like, how could you kill his dog? And he just goes on this rampage. It's wonderful. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I understand both you picking number 1. I have a hard time with it just because I can't watch the dog death scene.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned before.
Yes.
But the more I think about it, I'm going to pick number 1 because seeing that little shit get his comeuppance was totally worth it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Totally worth it. All right, now we're going to do a complete 180 on franchises here and go to Toy Story.
Oh gosh.
Of which there are currently 4.
By the time of this
Disney
recording,
Pixar.
there will be 35.
Right. All appearing on Disney Plus for $17.99 a month.
Exactly.
Yeah. John, I'll start with you, I guess.
I'm gonna have to go with the first one because I don't think I've seen
all right, fair enough.
any of them other than the first one.
Caught you unawares.
I vaguely remember the first one. And it was cool. Buzz and Woody, they had a battle, but then they became friends. They saved the day, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't really quite remember the rest of I'm sure my kids have seen them, but I don't remember them at all.
Oh, you weren't sitting there with your kids watching them? We actually went and saw it in a movie theater without my kids, believe it or not.
Well.
Hey,
There you go.
that's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Keith was 1. We weren't taking him to a movie theater.
Not yet.
All right, Matt, I know you've seen at least 2 because you watched them both at my house way back in the day. So
For sure. Yeah, it's tough. I would have to agree though with Johnny with the first one because again the story's fantastic. The rivalry and that they come together and they're best friends and then they're leaving, the family's moving and Woody's left behind and oh my gosh, what are you gonna do? And Buzz Lightyear comes in and saves the day and they get a gust of wind and they land on the moving van and off they go.
Yeah.
there you go.
It's wonderful.
That's nice. Well,
So, yeah.
I will say I enjoyed 3 the most.
Oh, okay.
because I think it's probably the most emotional of the group, because Andy goes off to college, and the
Yes.
question becomes, well, what's he going to do with the toys? And the toys kind of decide, are they going to hang out in the attic and just be in storage, or should they be given away to a school or toy? They have an evil strawberry smelling bear. So it's I thought that one blew the others away.
Oh, there you go.
So I'll go with 3 on that one. All right, we're down to the final 2. I'll do this one first because I think we'll probably all end up being in agreement, although I could be wrong.
Okay.
This one's the Terminator franchise.
Oh, okay.
Of which there are only 2 films. I'm sorry, did I say that?
Yeah.
Yes, you
That's
did.
what I was saying. I was thinking, and then right before I was like, oh yeah, there was more. Never mind. No, I wasn't thinking that. Why did I think that?
Yeah.
But I think the most debated issue probably comes down to, because I know nobody's going to pick any of the other ones. Which was better, the first one or Terminator 2: Judgment Day?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Matt, I know you want to pick Terminator 3 so bad, but
no. It's hard. They're both excellent movies. Both of them are excellent. Great stories for both. If I had to pick them, though, pick one, it's the second, because it ends the first perfectly. It is a great story arc between the 2 movies. And although you're sad to see Arnold die in the end, it is the right call, because the Connors prevent Judgment Day from happening. And it's perfect. It's a great ending arc to that entire 2-story movie. There is no other Terminators out there. I don't care if Rise of the Machines is there or Genesis. No.
What are they?
Over.
What are they? They were just robot
exactly.
movies made by someone who owned some kind of.
They were made by Waymo out in San Francisco. John, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to
one you
go Terminator 2 for everything that Matt said, but not as eloquent as Matt said. Terminator 2 came out at the perfect time of my life because I never saw Terminator, and then I went back and saw Terminator after I saw Terminator 2, and it just didn't stack up.
You're right.
It just didn't stack up. So Terminator 2 wins over
So you had to
Terminator.
fill in those blanks. And
Yeah. I filled in the blanks, and I was like, okay, the blanks are filled in, but the movie's still better. Terminator 2 is still better.
Yeah.
I agree. Terminator 2 is better. I do think the first Terminator has some elements to it which date it. The techno score does date it a little bit. Terminator 2, somebody was banging on a piece of iron, which made it sound much more badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but the score was like so much more cool. And the liquid Terminator robot, the T-1000.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
groundbreaking.
It was completely groundbreaking. Yeah. It really was amazing. Yeah. So you were voting for
Terminator 2. It's no question.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the director's cut where he's teaching the T-800 to smile, that is some funny shit.
There you go.
So you gotta see that. All right, we're gonna end this one on one of my favorite franchises, Indiana Jones. Which there are, I guess, 5 films at this point now.
So,
yeah.
I have not seen the 5th one yet. I do plan to at some point, but I have not.
Yeah.
But you got Raiders of the Lost Ark. You have the Temple of Doom, the Last Crusade, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or something, and then
something like
whatever the 5th one was. But if nobody's seen it, that's not going to count.
No.
All right. So the first,
way to label them. Just like Star Wars. What a shock.
Yeah, right. Well, it was George Lucas, so
I know.
John, I'll go to you first. What is your favorite Indiana Jones movie?
Not for anything. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the only one I could actually remember seeing and enjoying. The rest of A Temple of Doom I felt was very,
Mm.
very kitschy at the time, and I was like 13 when I saw them, so my bullshit opinion of that, like, I didn't like it then. I haven't seen it since, but I do remember really enjoying Raiders of the Lost Ark. So that's why I picked that one.
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
I haven't seen Indiana Jones in 30 years. So just throwing that out there.
Second that motion, I completely agree. Raiders for me is my favorite of the Indiana Jones series. I just love the story and the fact that the Nazis are foiled.
I love a good Nazi being foiled.
Oh, of course, yeah, exactly.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't, right?
So here at the conclusion, I will disagree again. My favorite is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
There you go.
Wow. Okay.
I think bringing in Sean Connery as his father was a stroke of genius.
Oh yeah.
The interplay between those two was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You still foil the Nazis.
Yeah.
I just thought that movie of the group was the best one.
And whatever you do,
me.
don't take a sip of that Holy Grail and that nice golden chalice, because that's not the Holy Grail.
I don't know what it looks like. Don't ever trust an Austrian.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that wraps episode 151 of Two Noobs Talking. Happy to have you along with us. We hope you had a good time. We were really in the entertainment realm because there wasn't much news this week because we really didn't want to talk about Trump being indicted.
No.
Because what a shit show that's going on.
Oh, yeah.
So we thought we would entertain and yes, that's what we wanted to do. So until next week for episode 152, when we'll probably have more of the same, ignoring Biden and Trump because we can and because we must. Until then, I say adieu. Gentlemen, we shall see you next week.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Two Noobs Talking. Not only can you listen to our entire catalog here on YouTube, but you can also download us on your favorite podcast listening platforms, such as Apple, Google, and Samsung podcasts, along with iHeartRadio and others. Have a great week, and we look forward to delivering another episode of Two Noobs Talking. Take care.